Okay, welcome to probably the most, I would say, important bonus session here. We had some fun with clips and we had fun with some of the buttons, but now we have a little. This is probably going to help you more than any of the other things that we've done. And this has to do with one of the last things that you're going to do in your final project, and that is make subtitles. And you're going to be making a lot of subtitles. So I'm trying to spare you from the agony of formatting each and every title by a couple of fun things here. So let's go back to the beginning, and we've enabled our waveforms here, and this is where this is going to pay off by so it's going to show you where to make your splits. Now, if you want, you can go through. There's several ways to do this workflow. Uh, you want to I wouldn't advise getting a whole lot of text on there. Maybe most 3 lines, and I'm going to show you why in just a minute. But let's play in here and let's see if we can find a natural break.
Okay. ¿Cómo reaccionó usted al espacio nuevo aquí?
Okay, so right there. So if you want, you can go through the whole thing and just go ahead and make your splits, or you can do it on the fly. Let's go ahead and make one. And remember, you can't really see this here. Maybe that's right there, but we're going to split the clip. So, and when you play through that, remember it's
Aquí. Like el plano de la ciudad, los barrios, la vivienda.
yeah. It actually, I think I made that split ahead of time here. You can either do Control Z or let's make a split here. And there's another one that says join clip is just below that. But so let's see what happens when we play through there.
Like
And it just joined it back. But what I did was, so I made the split too early. So just so you can work with that. Even if you do make it too early, it plays through. You can't tell where it is. So I'm gonna excuse me. Go ahead. I'm gonna split that clip right there, and we're gonna do our first title, and I'm gonna show you how by formatting your first title, you can, instead of dragging a title over there each and every time and having to basically start from scratch, we're going to get it like we want it and then just apply it to the very next clip. So here we go. We're going to choose a title over here and take a look here. Some of these are better than others. I think that overall you're going to do better with these subtitles if you just use this lower, not lower third, but just lower. So let's drag that over, and I'm going to apply it to that clip. And here we go. Now let's format this. There's no point in putting it in here right now. Let's format it, and then we'll start adding text and so on. So show fonts, and let's get this. Let's get it over to line up on the left side, which is standard. And that's pretty good. The outline, I think we're probably going to have to keep here, but let's lower it down. Just you see what I'm doing here? I'm just making the outline a little bit smaller. Now that's as low as it'll go. The font, you can choose a font, but remember, try to avoid these serif fonts. That you see what's happening here is the little serifs just go into oblivion there, so it makes it annoying and actually harder to read. So something that's called a sans serif font. Here's one. Gill Sans is good. Of course, the old standard Arial is always good. And you can italicize it or however you want to do it. Regular. You see, I would call that a bit too thin. So always try and get it as thick. This is not quite so terribly thick, but it's just thick enough so that you can read it well. And go ahead, and you can uh, you you can set the size here, but that's okay. And so if you have everything like you like it, go ahead and hit done. Um, and the line spacing, let's go up here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put a couple of things in here. Okay, so this is what I wanted. I wanted to get 3 lines. I really wouldn't recommend you get more than 3 lines, but here's one of the limitations that we're going to bump up against in iMovie. Is it says line spacing there, but actually you really can't get it lower than that. It would be nice to crunch that up a little. The best you can do there is to actually go ahead and select it, and then make it maybe a bit smaller. And then again, watch out for that, because your goal is to always make it readable. So if you like that, you can just click done. Okay. So if this is what you want to go with for your subtitling, that's good. Another way, actually. Now remember, uh, we can choose. Let's see. Okay, see why I wasn't doing anything. I didn't hit done. So hit done. Okay. I'm going to audition another title down here, and it's this: gradient black, or there's also gradient white. And let's see what happens there if I go ahead and I'm going to double click this, and instead of that, I'm going to choose gradient white or gradient black. So you see that could be useful. Let's go ahead and choose that, and then say done. And let's see what happens if we, let's just go ahead and see if we can, well, we can't get another line there, so that could be a problem. Yeah, so we can only get one line there. That's a problem. It's not going to work for our application, which is we want to be able to read a couple of lines. So I'm going to hit done there, and then done here. And then I'm going to double click this again, and let's go back to, let's see, can we get anything that's going to give us our 2 lines? And it doesn't, it's not looking like it is, except for something like this. So it might be that's what you get. And so we'll just go ahead and choose that. There we go, done. Okay, so if we play this through, it's just...
Okay, ¿cómo reaccionó usted?
Okay, there's our first title, and let's just say, okay, we've settled on this. And, well, maybe we'll say, okay, so, well, here, that didn't work. Let's just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and, I can't really, I want to be able to read that, so I'm going to make the outline just a bit more. First, you got to select it. Make the outline a bit more, but not too much, because you just want to make it so that you can read it. There, that stands out a little bit better. And so there we go. Let's hit done. All the dones. That'll save you a lot of time. Okay, very good. And we say, okay, that's what we want to do for all of our titles. Okay, so let's go back up here.
En los estados fue un poco más confuso en el hecho de que en Nicaragua todo lo tenía cerca, todo estaba accesible.
Okay, so we say, okay, there's a natural pause there, so let's go ahead and split that clip. I can't see it in you can't see it, it went off the picture, I apologize. But watch this. I'm going to highlight this, and now I'm going to use my drop down. Actually, I want you to be able to see this. So let's do this. So I click out of here somewhere, and okay, I'm highlighting this, and now I'm using holding my control, and now I'm going to click, and it's not going to show you, but it says duplicate last title. I'm going to insert this over here, and so you'll be able to see it. Duplicate last title, and boom. What we have is the same text as before, but now all we have to do is come up here and put in the new text. There we go, and done. And you see how that works. So now if we play through this,
like El plano de la ciudad, los barrios, la vivienda, etc.
El espacio nuevo aquí en...
you see now we have all of that, and we keep on like go down to your next one, make a split, like maybe right here. I'm just looking at the waveforms now. Now I'm control clicking, and I'm going to split the clip. Okay, now I'm going to highlight the whole thing, do it again, and don't worry, I'm going to put this over here so you can see it. Duplicate last title, and there it is, and then just keep on going. Now that will save you and so on and so forth. And so you see the utility of that. Let's put it up here and play it through.
Los barrios, la vivienda, etc.
El espacio nuevo aquí en nuestro estado fue un poco más confuso en el hecho de que en Nicaragua todo lo tenía cerca, todo estaba accesible. Si necesitaba comprar algo, habían varias tiendas.
And so on and so forth. You see how beautiful that system is. So that is, I think, going to serve you very, very well for your project as far as putting the subtitles. And again, you don't want to do this until the end, because you're going to be splitting these clips to accommodate the title. Okay, we got a lot of the subtitles there, and thanks for hanging in there on that. Now there's one more thing that's actually very, very important that I need to show you. And this is one of the limitations of iMovie, and it's kind of a big one. So there are workarounds for that. But here you can see we just put in those great subtitles, and that's wonderful, and that's an awesome way to do it. But let me show you what happens if you let's just say you already had a title in there, maybe over there, maybe it was the lower third, his name or something. Let's see what happens here if we try and add that. You can see that it's not going to let me do that. So here's the problem: you can't have two titles on one clip. It'll replace it. It'll do all this. But you can't do that. Okay. So the only way that you can work around that is to have titles in between, and that's you can certainly do that. You can, and I admit this is a big limitation of iMovie. However, there is a workaround on that. Let's just say that you are just dead set on having one title overlapping another. In this case, take a look here. You really couldn't put it in a lower third. You'd have to put it up here somewhere. If you are just dead set on having two titles in one clip, there's two ways you could do it. You could put a cutaway of a title. In other words, you can get an image of a title. And just put like a still, and you can and when you do the experiments with the with still images, and you'll see that one of the things that comes up is it'll say picture in picture. So you can experiment with that. So in other words, you'll have an image of a title up there, and you know you'll see what I mean when you start working with iMovie a bit. But there is another way. And if you recall, we shared and we exported the movie and all that. But you know, it is possible to go ahead and export the movie. I'm not going to export it here as a movie, and what it's going to come in, and then re-import it as you know, as a clip. And in that at that point, you can split it and put titles and all that kind of thing in there. And that might be a workaround if you're just dead set on having two titles at once. And there's no reason why you can't do that. There is a theoretical generation loss, but it is so minimal you would not even detect it. That used to be a problem in the past when we were using the old tape-based editing. That was a big problem. But here, I think you can re-import those clips. You know, let's just say you've got all your subtitles in here, and and you don't have any other stills or anything. You could actually export your movie. You could plan your workflow to do that. So instead of having, you know, all your finished audio and you just go ahead and plan from the get-go, well, I'm going to be exporting my movie with just the subtitles already intact. And then I'm going to have one long clip of the finished product. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding audio and things. And it'll be exactly like you're playing with an original clip. But the beauty part is you'll already have these these titles are already in there. So that's something that you can consider in your workflow.